is going to be showing you how to actually plant out a bonsai. So what is firstly the history of Arbor Day? Let's go back to that, right? So we can paint you a picture. Do you know where Arbor Day came from, Asfat?
No. It's been a long time.
So in 1872, back in the US, there was a man, and that man decided we need to look after the trees. And so he had the very, very first Arbor Day in 1872. 100 years later, it had become part of mainstream US culture because we wanted to preserve the trees. And of course, as we go into this whole greening of the planet and fighting the greenhouse effect, we obviously are then looking more and more at trees. I just want to have a look at the WhatsApp there. I think the message is coming in there. So we are into trees more and more, the reason being because they actually fight the carbon footprint, of course, and they help us to green the planet, right? So what is a bonsai? A bonsai is literally a little tree. And yes, you can have bonsais that grow fruit. And yes, you can have bonsais that don't grow fruit, but grow flowers, right? So now I looked this up, and I had to look it up because there's no ways I know these names off by heart. You can hear more ASMR. That's Asfat's knuckles cracking there. Brothers, what are you worried about there, Asfat? Everything okay with our sound?
No, everything is...
Alhamdulillah. Are we live on the
Yes,
yeah, we're streaming. So if you're not on FM, then where in the world are you? You're on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, you've downloaded the Al Ansar app and you're listening to us. So there are let me see here, 9 traditional bonsai styles. The first one is known as Chokan. Chokan is the classic style with a straight vertical trunk where the branches taper towards the top, giving a sense of height and elegance. Yes, I'm reading this because ain't nobody can remember all these names. I know I can't. Then we have the informal upright. So it's still an upright tree, but this one known as Moyogi. Moyogi characterized by trait that curves gently. The tree trunk curves gently. And this is the one that I am trying to do today, which is more of a moyogi, and the style mimics the natural growth of trees and can have a more relaxed, organic look. Assalamu alaikum. We have Sister Salma in the house. She has arrived. She has arrived. Then we have the slanting, which is known as the shakan. Shakan. The trunk is inclined to one side, creating a dynamic appearance. Now, this represents trees that have grown at an angle due to wind or other environmental factors. If you like our bonsais, give us a WhatsApp on
060-904-1056.
There you go. Send us your WhatsApp. I got Sister Salma on the spot over there. Walaikum salam. We then have the broom. Now, the broom features a straight trunk known as a hokidachi. Hokidachi is a straight trunk with a rounded canopy of trees above. So obviously they radiate outward and it resembles what? A broom. A broom. Then the forest. If you came to our Nature's Market Day, you know that the forest style is literally what it says. A whole bunch of trees. And these forests are stunning. They have a straight trunk with a rounded canopy of branches above. But there are so many different kinds of forest styles. The hokidachi. And then we have the Yose Ue. Yose Ue is also a group of trees in the same pot, but not a forest. We have roots over rocks. You know how sometimes you see those roots climbing over the rock? That's it. It says known as a Ishizuke. Ishizuke. And lastly, I think what Sister Salma is making is a Fukinagashi. No, wait. Fukinagashi.
What is that?
Fukinagashi is the windswept one.
Yeah, I love that.
Hey,
I want it to look like the cascading sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a style that depicts a tree that has been shaped by strong winds with branches and foliage all leaning in one direction. I don't really need these earring phones, I don't think.
Earring phones. No, we don't
need earring phones.
Ditch the earring phones today.
We ditch them now. Salma, Asfat here has tested our jabuticaba fruit. I harvested them this morning. Jabuticaba are Brazilian tree grapes and they grow off the trunk of the tree. So have a taste.
A
harvested
family
these
of
this
grapes
morning.
or like
No, not a family of grapes at all. It is actually a plant that is known also for its
like a
blood.
lychee.
He also said
It's
lychee
like a
and
lychee,
mango
yeah.
and berries kind of got together. So,
Okay.
I love
Oh,
that.
that's
stuff.
nice. Very refreshing.
So how about you take some of these fruit home and put some in the ground because they only
What are they
grow
gonna
from
grow?
seed. It only fruits after 10 years, can you even?
Wow. Okay.
But 10 years flies, Salma.
It
Look at
does.
us,
It
10
does.
years flies. Now, I don't know if you need some gloves because we are going to be starting our bonsai removal. We're going to remove it from its parcel first, its
Okay.
little
Going
packaging.
to start the operation.
We begin the operation.
Are we live
Put
on
the
Facebook
gloves.
already? Okay,
We
awesome.
we are. We shall begin by putting on the gloves for the operation. And then, once we have the gloves, we shall then take the scissors and we shall cut open the pot.
These are Rabia size gloves.
No, I brought you the mediums, doll. I have the smalls. I figured your hands would be bigger than mine. Most people's are. So, dear listener, if you're not watching us on Facebook, we're still going to try to make this entertaining for you. I'm going to paint you a picture. I am standing in studio next to Sister Salma, KW, Salma Kazi Wahab from the Sunday Lounge. And on the studio desks here, our station manager can be at ease. We have covered everything up because we do not want to make a mess in here. Godliness, what's it? Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes.
Indeed. So we have set everything up here. Goodness, I think I might have your gloves on. Honestly,
That's what I'm
these are
saying. I think
gigantic.
mine's with the smaller ones. Yeah,
These
there
are
we go.
gigantic. Here, give me the small because my fingers ain't just coping.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Right. So, what was I saying?
But before you just say anything more, I heard the beginning bit when you were explaining the bonsai and things. But what I appreciated, especially yesterday when we were at the nursery and we were getting the plants, is that you mentioned, and I'm somebody who has had the worst luck with bonsais. Yes, this is my size. And they've never thrived, so they are difficult. It's a challenge.
Yes.
It takes a lot of attention.
So,
and you suggested this one, speckworm, for me because you said it's easier.
yes, the speckworm is easier because this is more of like a succulent type of plant. So it's not going to need as much work. Now, I'm sitting with the poly, which is more of a shrub. So it's also not too terrible to make into a bonsai. But here's the thing about the bonsai. We're going to go step by step with this. Is bonsai need water? Okay? Bonsai need water. And when you think it's had enough water, your bonsai needs more water. And then once you've watered the bonsai, your bonsai needs more water. Bonsais, 95% of bonsais die because people think, we can water it once a week. It's not an orchid, folks. It is a tree. And the watering needs to be quite deep. So the reason why you want to water it 3 times at the same time is you water your bonsai and you leave it. You water your bonsai. So in between about 10 minutes to allow the soil to actually take up the water. Why is the water so important, Salma? Because photosynthesis on a bonsai cannot happen without the water. The water goes from the plant, from the soil into the plant, into the leaves, and it is the presence of the water in the leaves that allow for the release of carbon dioxide, that allows for the photosynthesis of the green leaf, that allows the tree to keep growing. So without the water, it will perish.
And that's so different to what you hear because you normally just see people with those spray bottles and they say that's how you water them.
They think you can
Then
just
you're underwatering.
Yes, you can just miss the leaves. Now, when you water a bonsai, and we're going to begin the operation, you can begin the slicing. When you water the bonsai, you water from beneath, but you also water from above. If you want to work in this one, is it easier for you?
I'll put it straight onto this. Yeah, we go.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do first is we're going to unpack our plant. We're going to take it out of its plastic because they come in these nursery bags, right? And once you have unpacked your bonsai, the first thing you want to determine when you're looking at a bonsai is what is going to be the front of the bonsai and what is going to be the back. Oh, Salma, look, as I take some of the soil off here, I'm liking this branch over here. And I think I might place a rock just under here and lift it gently. So instead of having a completely sweeping one, I think I'll put a stone here so that it can bend over the stone. So today what we're going to do is we're going to trim, we're going to pot, we're going to sort out the roots, because you should actually not copper wire the tree down at the same time, ideally, because it's quite it's quite hard on the tree to do everything at once. So we won't be copper wiring today. Perhaps we can bring our bonsai in if they survive, Salma.
Inshallah, they will.
Inshallah. We can bring them in again, and we can do a little bit of copper wiring. So the first most important thing about a bonsai is to water it. The second thing, of course, is to feed it. And now the other second reason that bonsai die is because people feed it in the winter. Now, in the winter, the tree is hibernating. She don't want no food.
I always tell my husband and others of stop watering my plants so much during the winter. So they're sleeping.
Water it needs. Okay. Water it needs. The food is dependent really on the weather. So if it's really cold, you don't want to be feeding your bonsai at all in the winter.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do, traditionally we would use chopsticks, but unfortunately I didn't have any around. So I've brought some knives that we can use the backside of the knives, the butt end, and we're going to gently release the soil from the roots just by tapping it away and releasing that soil, particularly from the bottom. You just tap away at it, Salma, to release the soil from the soil. You're breaking the soil off from the roots without damaging too much of that root structure. Already, if you saw mine in the beginning and you see it now, whoops, whoa, okay, I did not want to make a mistake. Jammer, Faisal, jammer. Huskies, we have a little bit of soil on the carpet. I promise we'll clean it up. So we are removing the soil, and tremendous apologies to whoever's next. Oh,
it's me. That's next. Okay.
Very good. I can sweep it up while you are. Okay, so now you can see that your tree has a root structure that is possibly a lot smaller than what it initially looked like in the bag. Okay, you can also gently press on it with your fingers, and the soil will release. Now I've got, look at that. If you're on Facebook, have a look there. Look at that. I now have a tree that I can decide, okay, do I want that to be the front? Because maybe I want a tree where, so the top branch is standing up to the sky. Imagine a tree that bends backwards and then up. And then there are all these little branches growing on the front of it. And I think I quite like those. So now that we have taken the roots out, okay, gently loosened it over there. Now, ideally, when you get yourself a bonsai pot, and this is something that I did forget, Salma, but she will survive, is you're wanting to apply, Scott is having a good tickle over there. We have a lot of fun on Green Thumbs Up.
It's like a whole gardening show he's watching today.
Yes, you get to watch
Radio and Sar's being visual now.
My hat in the bottom of broken eggs. Okay, so here's my bonsai pot.
Am I good with this one? Or should I take out more?
I think you need to take out more. I think your roots are definitely going to need a decapitation.
It's quite thick.
No, leave the top. I would say that the top looks great. Just loosen the bottom sand a little bit more, using your fingers gently. I would say rather right at the bottom. Salma, just over here. Just over here, you're wanting to just release this. Because now, if you are watching us, you will see that my root structure, the root structure on my bonsai, is about half the height of the tree. So it doesn't need too much of a trim. Okay, when you are first planting your bonsai, you can, because it's early spring now, this is the only time when you will ever touch the roots, and you do only cut roots every 4 to 6 years until the plant is established, and then after that you can leave the root structure as is. So for 1 year, maybe a second time, and you always do that early spring. So here, because I don't want this thing to grow much more, you can see it's about half the size of the tree, and you never remove more than a third of the root structure. So I have my secateurs here, and I have my alcohol sanitizer, because we all got it during COVID.
No, true, yes, we all have.
Okay, and you know what? I think they're going to try to do that to us again. I don't think they're going to come right with South Africans, because we kind of been there, done that. Okay, so here we have some alcohol, no rinse, quick dry hand sanitizer, which is less than 75%. And I'm going to use that to just kind of sanitize the secateurs. Why? Because we don't want any fungi that may be present in the secateur from past cutting. And this is a very busy secateur in my garden. And we are going to snip the roots. I'm going to snip off at the very most a third of the roots. And if you're on Facebook, you can see that I didn't really need to snip too much, because what I'm going to do then is I'm going to spread the roots outward along the pot. The pot is quite big, so it allows me to do that. So let's have a look. Oh,
Mine is going to need more.
Yours is going to need more of a trim. Okay, so let's use the same microphone over here. There we go. Let's share. Okay, so here we have. Oh gosh, but look how beautiful the roots are on the top of your bonsai.
I like that slanted effect as well that it's got.
So you cut off the stuff going down yesterday. Didn't you buy the one that was swooping down?
No, we took this one so that it's going to grow the same way.
It really does look already like a bonsai. So we don't want to also remove too much, but we're going to take off the bottom third. Well, not even a third, maybe just a quarter of the roots. Here we go. I'm going to snip right through those root structures. Please remember, you can WhatsApp us on
060-904-1056.
Yes.
He's going to have to tell us when a message comes.
Yes, he'll have to tell us. So let's take those roots away. Okay, we're just going to put the dirt there because we have to. Alrighty, and now, pardon me, we have our bonsai. And we need to now get it into our bonsai pot. Before we do, in fact, let's do it after. It's fine. Let's get it into the pot because it's going to be easier to manage. Now, when you put your bonsai pot down, ideally, there are always air holes in there, but ideally what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to plug those up with a bit of fabric or anything, even if it's initially just some paper, just to keep it in, and then eventually it'll, the paper will tear through. So we've got a little bit of paper. We'll use this paper bag. Okay, so we're just going to cover those holes.
Buy some extra samosas.
Yes.
Then you use the bag.
I love that. There you go. Do you have some
Okay,
holes?
but should I empty my soil into your bowl?
I think perhaps let's empty all the soil together. There you go. Empty all the soil into the vast bucket. The scrap bucket. What's it called? Scrap emmer.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called. Anyway, have you got your paper? Here you go. Now, ideally, cover the hole. So ideally, you actually want fabric, or you want an actual mesh. There's a mesh that you can get. Okay. But the whole point of this, the reason I'm putting paper down there is because I don't want to create even more of a mess in the studio. But ideally, you would have your mesh. Now we're going to get some of the bonsai soil. Okay, we'll put our bonsai aside and let's grab some of the soil. And we have a little kopiki to dish up.
Okay, you want to come this way?
Okay, let's dish up some soil. I'm going to bring my pot close to you and dish up some soil. Now, bonsai mix, if you're using bonsai mix, then it already has everything in it that you possibly need, and you're going to use your liquid fertilizers in time, right? But you will use your fertilizers, any liquid fertilizer, you're going to use that once a month, but not in the winter time. You can do once every 2 weeks if your plant it's really hot and your plant is in a major growth spurt. And you're going to start with a very, very balanced NPK because you're wanting green leaves. So 555 Stay Alive is cool. It works great. And then, of course, if you have a bonsai that is going to flower, then before it flowers, you're going to have a higher P, which is the phosphorus. And then if it fruits, just as it starts to fruit, you're going to have a higher potassium. So that's how NPK works generally anyway. So we're going to put some soil in there. Here you go, Salma. You can go ahead. And now is when, if you put the soil into your pot, you at this point must decide, Mara, which way? Which way must this tree look at me? Is it going to look at me sideways? Is it going to give me a side eye? Bombastic side eye. What is it? Is it bombastic? I don't know. It's something
also,
like
where
that.
you're going to place it in the home, and that
Correct.
So the whole look.
So if you take a bonsai and you just plonk it in the middle of the pot, well, you've got a tree in the middle of the pot, but is it going to kind of look nice as it grows? Yeah, that's perfectly enough. We're going to top it up once the plant is in. So now we've got this little bonsai, and I want to decide, do I want it to be kind of off center because I have a rectangular pot? Salma has a round pot, so she may also decide to go off center. She may decide to go in the front. I think what I want to do is put it slightly off center like so, and I actually have a couple of rocks that I'm going to, some rose quartz over here, that I'm going to put behind it there like that, Salma, so that it will kind of grow down. In the next video, what we'll do is we will copper wire things down, perhaps next in about 2 months, ideally. So I'm going to sit it down in the soil and I'm going to top it up. I'm going to use some of the soil that is here in this bucket, and let's fill up the rest of it so that we can actually have a stable plant to trim. How are we doing for time there, Ashfaq? Where are we at?
3 minutes, I think.
Are we at 9:36? We need to take an ad break while we quickly fill up the soil here. Can we do that? Yeah, let's take the ad break. Let's take the ad break now. He doesn't want the ad break. Let's do the ad break now, and we're going to see you after the break. Don't go away. Stay with us on Facebook. Stay with us on YouTube as well. And come and join us straight after this ad break.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness. And every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Education, health, dignity, empowerment. These wishes all begin with water. Africa Muslims Agency is committed to providing clean water to the thousands who still live without this basic human right. Support us in giving the best of charities. Provide a water well for 16,500 rand, or a borehole for 55,000 rand in Afghanistan, or 65,000 rand in Africa. Gain Thawabi Jariyah and help communities to reach their full potential. African Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
Do you want to win PlayStation 5?
We got the green light. You're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. We're up in 3.
Coming soon, exclusive to the Breakfast Rush with Mitchell.
Hungry for flavor? Head over to Nando's Pavilion, Westfield Mall or Oceans Mall, where our flame-grilled peri-peri chicken is always fresh and flavorful. Experience our hospitality by dining in at Nando's Pavilion, Westfield Mall or Oceans Mall, which are all NIHD certified, and stand a chance to win a holiday getaway for 4, valued at 10,000 Rand at the Umsklang stands. Nando's! Fire it up!
Sunday Lounge. The Sunday Lounge. The Salma 10 to 12. Latest machines. Celebrity artist features. Events. News from the team. Top 10 countdown. Sunday Lounge.
Radio Al-Ansar, 24/7, 365.
Welcome back to Green Thumbs Up. We are bonsaiing. We are building bonsais in the studio this morning. And we have got some messages come in. Sister Fatima Effendi says, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Put a picture of your grapefruit on WhatsApp, please. Jabuti Kaaba. Where did you get it, doll? Well, actually, this was brought to me by someone who had it. And I think they were in the northern Transvaal. So, but they do grow from fruit. As I say, it does take 10 years to fruit. And yeah, she also asks, is it on the trunk? She sent us a whole lot of pictures. Yes, you've got it, sister. That's the one. Jabuti Kaaba. That's Jaboticaba. We've got another message from Naranjeen that tells us, Salam, Sister Rabia. Walaikum salam. The fruit sounds yummy. Whenever you come to PMB, please bring me some. What is the best remedy for aphids? So we're going to talk a little bit about aphids as well. And there are other messages that have come in. Let me just deal with the aphid story because it is relevant also to bonsais. So both bonsais and all of our plants really are prone to aphids. Now, if you're out in America, then it's easy because you just go and buy yourself some ladybirds from the ladybird supplier. But there ain't no ladybird supplier in South Africa, unfortunately. So we have to deal with aphids in a different way. And there are ways that you can deal with them organically. And the simplest way is to take a tablespoon of your dishwash liquid, your sunlight, whatever it is, and then you're going to put that into a cup or 500 ml even of water, and you're going to spray. But you do need to spray regularly. The thing with pesticides, people think they can spray once and the aphid's going to die. So you spray once and the next week you spray again. The bigger the infection, the more regular you have to spray for aphids. Otherwise, if you don't want this, you want something stronger than just the sunlight and water, you can use the neem oil spray, the recipe I've given out here many times, and that is you're going to take 2 tablespoons of neem oil. You're going to take 2 tablespoons of dishwash liquid, and you're going to take 2 liters of water. So easy to remember. And then you're going to give it a good shake. If you shake it and then you look at the bottle of liquid and you count to 10. If by the count of 10, the oil starts to come to the surface, you need another teaspoon of dishwash liquid. It needs to emulsify. What that does is it covers the respiratory system of your aphids and they go bye-bye fast. Right, so that's how you deal with aphids. If you do happen to have ladybirds and praying mantis and things like that, there are certain beetles as well that eat the aphids. Sometimes we get rid of so much bugs that we get rid of the bugs that actually get rid of the baddies. And we don't want to do that. So now we, Sister Salma and I here in the studio, have planted out our bonsais. We've got the soil. Do you know what I'd suggest?
Now, with mine has so many of the thick roots.
Yeah,
so what would you cover those roots?
No, I wouldn't cover them. I think they're beautiful. They lend a beautiful feeling. You could even eventually, when you get home, you could put a stone in that if you like. It's going to do that. Just to and even on that one, so you could actually have these almost, you don't have to cover them, so that it looks like, we're talking about the thick roots that are protruding from the ground. You can actually make this, like add a little bit more so you've got like a little ladder effect and put little, just gemstones or whatever. So I do have some stones in studio that I have brought with me for us, which we can share out over here to cover our bonsai. Now, what is the point of putting these little stones on the surface of our bonsai? As I get some more soil, Salma, what do you think it is?
I think when you're watering, I don't know, that could be one. When you're watering, so the water goes a little slowly down, or the wind factor to not erode the soil.
Yes. Oh, she's good.
I don't know. That's what I'm assuming.
Yes, all that, yes, and more. So not only do you have that stability, because yes, the wind can get pretty harsh and people can keep bonsais outdoors and indoors. But remember, a bonsai should ideally be outside. It is an outside plant. Keeping it indoors, if you have low light conditions or whatever, you could
put something crawling in my bonsai.
Oh, good. That's nature. That's okay.
It's like a little thing that just.
All right. If it's black, a brown little. Does it look like a little beetle?
No, like a worm almost, but it's crawling with the legs on the side.
On the legs on the side. So that's a centipede. If you find it, it's a squisher. Those are the ones you squish. Okay. When it comes up to the surface, when you give it some water, it'll come up to the surface. And some things we squish and some things we leave. And centipedes are never great because we don't know if those centipedes are poisonous or not. So, no, you've got gloves. You're okay. Okay, so centipedes, particularly the colored ones or the fuzzy ones, you see kids playing with centipedes. And I say, Mom, watch out. Sorry, those are poisonous, yeah? Especially you see some that have got almost a luminous green or an orange. Those can give you quite a toxic response.
I actually had a bad experience with centipedes.
You did tell us about it.
So basically I was playing under a tree and then one of them fell on my neck and I had an allergic reaction and it actually swelled up.
Yes. And if you were to have rubbed your eyes after touching that
Don't
thing,
tell me I would have been blind.
it would have really given you a severe eye issue that, if left untreated, can cause a severe infection and can, in some cases, in some toxins, lead to blindness. So be careful with the centipedes, especially the different colored ones. Now, some of them are pretty harmless, but typically, if they have many legs, they are millipedes, and they are not great for the fingers, right? I remember having a gardener, good old Philemon, and he helped me tremendously. And Philemon did just that. He actually touched one of these things. His skin broke out into terrible rashes. And not only that, but he did rub his eyes. So I had to make a concoction to help him. And my go-to concoction, if you have a pen, since Nature's Apothecary is such a part of our show, my go-to concoction for eye issues, conjunctivitis, any sort of issues that you may have with your eyes, is you're going to take a handful of elderberry leaves. Elderberry grows everywhere here in Durban. Oh, that looks beautiful, Salma.
I found the squish.
You found it? Squishy. Let's have a look at. Oh,
Squished it.
okay. It is the centipede that was. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, no.
The honey color.
Yes, no. We want to get rid of that. That will eat your roots. Yes, that's going to eat your root. That's actually a type of a nematode. So what we're wanting to do now is, what was I saying now? I got sidetracked over here.
With the centipede.
The centipede. No, before the centipede. The blind eye. Yes, the eye recipe. Yeah. Okay, so you've got some elderberry leaves. Let's make it easy for you. Take 2 elderberry leaves, because the bush can grow quite big. Put it into a liter of boiling water. Add to that a chamomile tea bag, and add to that a tablespoon of yarrow. Now, if like me, you have yarrow growing at home, it's easy to do. And if like me, you don't have yarrow at home, why don't you have yarrow at home? You need to buy some yarrow. Get the yarrow growing. It is easy to grow, and it's perfect for so many different things. If you want some more information on yarrow, which is also known as the woman's herb and the man's health herb, then let me know. So you're going to take the yarrow, the elderberry, the chamomile in some water, and you are going to let it stand for 10-20 minutes. You can then use that water, okay? Strain it out and use that water to actually wash out your eye. It's great for conjunctivitis, as I say, any kind of eye issues, even skin irritations. And why it helps so much is yarrow being an anti-inflammatory, elderberry being a toxin killer. It's also one that you can use for mosquito bites and things like that, and chicken pox and all of that. The same recipe. And then you've got the chamomile, which is cooling, calming, and soothing. If you have eye issues, just generally, by the way, chamomile tea, washing your eyes with chamomile tea is brilliant. So it's a good one to do regularly, helps with your eyesight. So now, if you're on Facebook, Salma, we now have, I'm taking my gloves off, the surgical way, taking it off, because now we have our plant in the ground. And now we are going to snip it,
Does this give?
Oh, that's giving. It does. It's giving. It's really lovely. I love it. So you have your succulent type growing. We've kind of both chosen to do something similar, haven't we? Like a similar lapa side on the side, short left on the pot. Hey, short left on the pot.
Because I want the space to add like some fitness on the side.
Yes, of course. I also do. I was thinking to put like a little swimming pool in. You can turn your heart.
No, you could put like a little bird feeder even on the end.
It's true.
A small.
You can. You turn it into a little garden, a little miniature garden. And you can get those miniature furniture from dolls' houses. Okay, and so you can make like a little table and chairs, or maybe a little deck, have a mini Barbie chilling out there in her burkini, and you can knit her one and put it in your bonsai. How pretty will it look? How pretty will it look? So I've got, I started sighing so deeply there. So now we have our bonsai. We have considered what is the front of our bonsai. This is the front. I want my plant to the left. If I were, if I were to turn it around, mind you, if I turn it around, I quite like that too, Salma. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think I'll make this the front because it really pops off. Are we able to see this, Asfat, on the camera? So it really pops off to the side. If you're watching us on Facebook or on YouTube Live, you will see this one is popping off to the left. But so I have got to paint a picture for those who are not watching, I have a rectangular pot. I have planted a tree that looks like it's got a whole bunch of leaves in a pom-pom and then a stem sticking out the top. And I want to now trim this back because I want to create a kind of a starting point. Now, it is a bush. I want to create a starting point for it to grow from into the kind of style that I like. Oh, I like the notches on this. You see, look at all the lovely notches on the stem. So what I'm going to do with my secateurs is I am going to remove some of these leaves. And as I remove it, already you can see how that has opened up.
Because that's focusing now the growth into that.
Yes,
into that
canopy.
Yeah.
Yes, so I want to focus the growth into this canopy over here. I might take a second one off, actually. There we go. I've taken the second one off. I'm going to launch my stone.
like a
Actually, no,
teenager
this way. Sure, much more good. Pie. Alrighty. And then I'm going to remove some of these off, some of the leaves that grow from the actual branch because I want to see the beautiful branch beneath it. What bonsais do you have at home? I know there are those bonsais you can get at the pick-a-pocket and the corner store, the names of which we cannot say. But here, I want to remove this. I don't want it to grow. Oops, over there. Oh, I think I've cut through a rock here, Selma. There we go. I want this branch to grow up. I want to actually remove all the others. So I'm actually only left with two little stockies. You see there, I've got one stockie that goes up.
Very demure, very elegant now.
Very demure, very elegant. Yes, this is how we do our bonsai. Very demure, very elegant. I need some clippies.
It looks like a Gen Z bonsai now, all of a sudden.
You know, doesn't it? It's had a major, it's had a major haircut over here. And what we will need to do is, I'm going to, there's another one growing over there. There we go. So there we go. How are you doing with stones? You good with stones? Whoops. You see, I keep mixing. You can't take me anywhere, Salma. Okay.
Do I need to add more stones? I don't think so.
I think you have enough stones.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you do have enough stones.
But do I need to cut?
So now you're going to have a look at your bonsai and you're going to determine what is the tree within the tree. The old chap that taught my father used to say, the tree tell you what she wants to look like. So you must look tree. You must see tree from different angle. And you must decide which way tree go to grow. So which way do you want the tree to grow? So there are a couple of things here. Firstly, if we look at Salma's tree, can we zoom in here? Can we have a look here? Please, Asfar. So if we look at this tree, we have got, you want this to be front facing. So this is the front facing. But see how we've got another branch potentially growing underneath here. You must determine if you want that branch. And then you want to determine how much of the stuff growing along the inside you want to have. So I would nip that one off. I would nip this one off. And I would nip that one off. And then you decide if you want something growing out that way. So let's zoom in here on this. There we go. Let me have the camera. There we go. Here we go. Use this one. So you can try it, but that has not been sanitized. So let's sanitize that first. Here you go. Right. We'll just put some over there. There we go. Rub it on. Whoops. Not showing the brand of anything over here. Here we go. So Salma is busy snipping off the branches so we have a clean trunk over here. Now, if we look at this, there we go. We're wanting to create almost, there's the stick, right? The main branch. Oh, can you hear me? Goodness, I think I'm too far from the microphone. Yeah. So there is the branch. So we've removed, let's bring it closer. Oh, no, it's fine. I've got the camera next to you, so that's good. So now you've got this here. These little ones, do you want them in? Because they're going to fill up this area. So if you wanted like a kind of a palm shape on either, you could do that, because Salma's tree is a main stem for 5 with 5 branches sticking out. So if you wanted this one or that one or both, you can leave it. If you like it as is, that's also great. Perfectly fine. We're raising the camera just a little.
I would kind of
just
take this one off.
Okay, let's take that one off. Bismillah. There we go.
And I just keep the feel like That I was thinking of taking that one, but I'm not sure if it's going to look too.
Now, do you know what's so interesting is if you turn your plant around just slightly, turn it that way, it actually looks quite beautiful from this direction as well. So you have a tree that as this grows longer, if you wanted to snip it, you could make this the front. You don't want to at the moment. Let's see how it establishes itself after this. And let's turn it back then the other way completely and see. So this definitely looks like the front face. It's got this beautiful pom-pom in the front. It's got that. I want to see how Salma has got her roots coming up from the, can we see that? Coming up from the ground. So this is going to look very gnarly. Gnarly, dude.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like it.
It is beautiful. You can, if you want to, instead of having just a thing, you could put a stone there. I think I might have another rose quartz for you. I don't know if you'd be interested in one, if you're in the market for one. Kind of, if I may, just kind of over there. So you've got this root that is going to grow over that until you decide, what you're wanting to do with it. Now, the reason I've used rose quartz, you can use any kind of stones. I'll take that camera back to Asfat. You can use any kind of stones and that'll work. But especially sometimes if you've got a tree that is coming too far out on the pot, it detracts because there's nothing on the side to balance the look. And if you've got a tree also that is very bolt upright, and there's nothing next to it, you want to divert the eye. So you might use a rock that's quite tall actually, or even a set of smaller stones to kind of add interest, visual interest, and pull the eye towards where you want it to go as you look at the bonsai. Now, I'm quite happy with mine. It is simple. It is I'm going to face it to the front so you can see the actual front of it. And that is basically it with the growing of our bonsai at the moment. So once you have it in the soil, you are now going to put your bonsai into semi-shade for about a month to 2 months. The reason being it is spring, there is a little bit of a cold snap that we still get now and then, and also we may find that it's too hot for your bonsai. It's had its roots played with, it's had its hair cut. It's kind of like, what have you done to me, mama? You've cut me up, you've tossed me out, you've done me in. And we haven't. So we need to have it get enough water. At this point over here, we can actually give it a little bit of a feeding, but I would wait a week or two before we give it a feeding. And personally, I'll be using something like a straightforward nitrogen because I want more leaves to grow in. So your seaweed-based fertilizers will be great. How are we doing there? We're at 10 o'clock. So this is the bonsai, and we need to move on to Sister Salma's show. You're going with the Sunday Lounge. What are you doing on your show this morning?
Well, what's amazing is, with the coming of spring, you always welcome the month of Rabia.
Yes.
So that's what's beautiful. Spring is such an amazing time because it's somehow the whole energy shifts in the universe.
Yes.
Spring, the plants start to bloom, and Rabia al-Awwal, and we almost call it the spring of our religion also, because it's people start to remember the life of the Prophet. They start to talk about his seerah, and it's not only here; it's all over the world. So the whole energy, I feel that's why almost the plants begin to bloom. It's such a wonderful atmosphere and a vibrancy. So from today, we're going to feature a lot of the songs in praise of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also the very exclusive launch with Zayn Bika just after 11 o'clock, where he talks about his new song.
Wow.
So we're looking forward to that.
Wow,
It's a good one.
alhamdulillah.
It's going to be an exciting.
You have to stay tuned for that because it is time for me to say goodbye to you. Until next week, I hope you've enjoyed the bonsai planting. You can always go back and revisit it on YouTube or on Facebook. Salma and I, Salma and I will be back hopefully with live trees in a few months to see if there is any.
Redo this.
We're doing it. We'll be copper working it to kind of twist the branches where they go. Inshallah,
They
I
will
mean,
thrive.
inshallah, I mean, may they thrive. So yes, it is the springtime of your life. Whatever age you are, remember today is a good day to be happy. From me until next week, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Getting you through your day. Radio Al Ansar.
An informative Islamic global perspective. This is Al-Ansar News.
And the Public Works and Infrastructure Department in KwaZulu-Natal has introduced a new tender procurement system, accountability and transparency. Good morning, I'm Tabile Duma. The Public Works and Infrastructure Department in KwaZulu-Natal has introduced a new tender procurement system, accountability and transparency. The department has said that it would now conduct a full visual and audio